your pillow to the back of the bolster. Pillow. If you have a second pillow or a blanket, you might place it behind you to place underneath your head. Give yourself a little extra height. And then you can also grab those two cloths, or towels or pillows, whatever you're using to prop up the knees. Just a traditional supported Baddha Konasana to open up today's practice. Recline back. And let your arms rest out to the sides, palms facing up. So a moment just to really feel and recognize yourself on the mat here. Breath drawing in through the nose and moving out the mouth. You might release the neck a little, let your head look to one side and then the other. Back to center. Let's bring the thumb and the index finger pad together to touch that mudra of wisdom and inner knowing, just connecting and recognizing that part of self within and around you. As we connect our breath to our breath a little bit more, we can feel the breath draw in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Feel your breath. You could count the breath 4 to 6 counts on your inhale. 4 to 6 counts on your exhale. As you breathe, you might slide your tongue to the roof of your mouth, either behind the 2 front teeth or all the way back to the soft palate. Just connect energy, center, energy point. So we are in that full moon energy, so might be bringing things to the surface. So just allowing yourself to be gentle with yourself, process however you need. Also in areas, who am I? How am I showing up? How can I lead? How can I awaken the leader within me? And with that, we might even find some resistance. Now, you might choose to keep your arms where they are. Another option would be to reach those arms overhead, biceps near ears. Elbows, arms can hang over that pillow if you're using it. That's too much on the shoulders, just bring your arms to the side, and we'll do a few more breaths here. Maybe feeling a little more shoulder or chest stretch. You have the mudra, release it. If your arms are still releasing, reaching back, let them come to your side. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. And we'll come out of Baddha Konasana. If you want a moment just to feel a deeper stretch, you might slide those blocks out from underneath your legs. Then we'll use our hands to slowly close the legs together like a book. And then you might need to move the blocks to the side. You can have your feet hip distance or mat distance. We can drop the knees from one side to the other, just that windshield wiper knee, helping to release the lower back. Then let's keep our knees to the right the next time the knees are to the right, to breathe 3 breaths in that lower body twist. Focus could be to the sky or over to the left side. And after that third exhale, follow the inhale as you bring your knees to center. We let the knees drop over to the other side. And focus can look to the right. Needing at least 3 breaths here. And then we'll inhale, bring the knees back to center. Let's go fetal position right. So let the legs lead, let the arms follow. Catch yourself on your right side. Fetal position. The moment to feel the right side of the body into the earth, the left side of the body expands to the sky. And we can press the palms down and slowly lift the body up to see it, stacking 1 vertebra at a time. Your head come up last. Let's move to child's pose next. Just counter posture to that Baddha Konasana. So we can move that bolster to the front of the mat. If you're using that blanket, it might go underneath your shins. If you want extra cushion, you could fold it over. If you need that knee support, put that blanket behind your knees. Lean down onto your shins. And then we can use those blocks. Maybe you use both blocks, maybe you just use one. Or if you're using a book, either stack 1 block, head block a little higher than the torso block, or if you're just using 1 block, just make sure that block goes underneath your head, just to keep your head a little higher than the hips. And then we can inhale, lengthen the spine, and then take your time folding forward into that pillow or bolster. And we practice that posture, child's pose, complete surrender, giving over. So as you connect to your breath again here, feel the shoulders slide down from the ears. You might wiggle or spread your fingers and toes. Your breath, draw in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. You could rest the tip of your tongue at the roof of the mouth again. That practice is said to also assist with keeping connection to your pituitary gland or that sixth chakra or the third eye space. Just to keep energy moving there for clear vision. Even that practice to see before something arrives in 3D form. Maybe there's something in your own life that you're just surrendering to, releasing any struggle with. Be a great time during the full moon just to practice letting go. And then let's rotate the head. So press the palms down, lift the torso up, and look to the opposite side, laying down, pulsing neck stretch. So once again, while you're here, you can feel your shoulders slide down from your ears. Wiggle or spread those fingers and toes. Maybe on this side, we do a little more focus on the heart. So just softening the heart, consciously relaxing the heart and chest as you exhale. You can do a little wag of your tail from side to side to release the lower spine. So you feel kind of like an S-shaped movement. Back to neutral. Practice a mantra of I release what I no longer need. I'm open to receive what I'm ready to receive. And expand that mantra, I release any part of the planet that is not supporting you or needing to move forward with. Open to receive the wisdom and compassion. Those next steps. Right, take your time. If you want to stay here a little longer, please do. You're ready to come up, press your palms down, lift your torso up, rotate your head to center, reach your hips towards your heels, and roll up through your spine, stacking one vertebra at a time. Head comes up last, and we set up for mountain pose. Bringing one or two of your pillows to the front of you. And grabbing those two blocks. Second level and maybe on the or lower down if that's feeling better. Back to the legs, the shoulder blades, and the head. We'll let this be our next posture. Feel free to wiggle around, shift around. You might lift the hips up, pelvis up, send it down. You reach a little longer through one arm and then the other. And then with the legs, you can practice internally rotating the toes, the knees, the femurs, and then letting that go. Like a windshield wiper, internal, external rotation with the legs. Eventually coming to stillness. And then you could repeat, bringing the thumb and the index finger pad together to touch, creating that circuit of energy, that mudra of wisdom, connecting to that part of self within and around you. Infinite cycle of energy. In this posture, let's focus on breathing into our diaphragm a little bit more. So that muscle just below the rib cage. And start with just feeling for some movement there. If you want to take one of your hands and rest it on the diaphragm, please do. Using that hand as a guide on where to direct your breath. And you can start to feel that breath move to the sky, to the earth, the sides of your room. You can start to feel the diaphragm move down towards the navel. You can even use, you do have a hand on the belly, brushing downward. Encouraging the diaphragm as you breathe to expand down towards your hips, towards your feet. Naturally, on the exhale, that breathing muscle is going to want to contract back up, but visually, your intention, can you keep that expansion? Now you can keep your arms where they are, or this one you might bring those hands back. You could place the backs of your hands on top of that block, excuse me, the palms of your hands, and maybe let the elbows point up towards the sky. Now the shoulder stretch, this also stretches the heart and small intestine channels, energy lines. As you breathe here, I could encourage moving the jaw from side to side, or open, close, or maybe even circling the lower jaw a couple times each direction, relaxing the muscles of the face. And if you did reach the arms back, go ahead and let the arms drop by your sides again. Just facing up. So you'll either stay here for a few more rounds of breath here in this mountain, or if it feels okay, let the legs drop off the pillows to the right. You feel your left leg stack on top of your right, so you get a twist. Now, if it feels like too much to have both legs stacked, you could maybe use that support of your bolsters. Keep that left leg or pillow, keep that left leg on top. After about 3 breaths here again, we're going to bring the legs back to center, this time letting the left leg lead, letting the right leg follow. That right leg could be on top. You stack the legs. And let's go to the other, let's go back to the right. So we'll let our right leg lead, let our left leg follow. Let's roll to fetal position on the right now. So once again, we're going to just catch ourselves on that right side. With the left side of the body stacked on top of the right, relaxing into the earth. And then let's use our hands to press the palms down and slowly come up to seated. Let your head come up. Last, we're going to do pinwheel pose next. So for pinwheel pose, you might just use the legs and the hands. You might use the props like you did for child's pose. So I'll show what that looks like. We'll start with the right leg in front and have the left leg behind. So make that kind of like Z-leg position with the legs. Have as much or as little space that feels good to you. So you might feel your right heel touch your left thigh, or you might think the leg's very wide. So it's really what feels better on your lower back, and also which gives you less space between your left inner thigh and the mat. Before we start to fold forward, if you are going to fold forward, let's use the heels of the hands, and we're going to just gently massage into that right inner thigh, inner calf, or inner shin. And you can massage down the leg, or maybe both, massaging back up. And so not just using my hands, but I'm using my whole body to rock forward and back. It's going to help even out the pressure, even out the body weight. Okay, and then when you feel complete with that, if you are doing that self-massage, we'll think about coming forward towards that right leg. So it might be resting your left hand on your right inner arch, your right hand on your right knee or thigh. You could start to reach over that right leg if that's available. And I would use wherever the hands are connected, I would try to pull the hips in the opposite direction, the pelvis in the opposite direction. Practice down dog. It could feel like a down dog with the pelvis. And then if you are going to go a little lower down, this is where bringing maybe those blocks underneath your elbows could feel nice, or this could be with your pillow as well. We don't want to feel like there's too much force in that forward fold, but there's still some lift and support underneath the front body. You breathe. And if you haven't yet in practice, try a long audible exhale out the mouth. That might also include that Kali or dragon's breath, sticking out the tongue and out completely. All right, and then we'll press down through the palms, lift the torso up, and we're going to go to the other side. So you can set the blocks to the side if you're using them, or pillows. Swing the left leg forward, bring the right leg behind you, and we'll find that pinwheel stretch on the second side. We'll do that self-massage first. So massaging that left inner thigh, inner calf, inner shin, arch of foot. either massaging down the leg, up the leg, or maybe a little bit of both. Forward and back motion to not put any extra effort into the arms or the wrists. Okay, and then we can start to think about folding forward if you're wanting to do that. The hands can be on the foot and thighs, you lean forward. If you're able to walk the hands in front of the left shin, use those hands traction on the mat to bring your pelvis back. And if you're going further, bring your blocks or pillow in. You can start to come onto the forearms, lower down. Breathe here into the belly again. Does that belly breath connect to your hips? Opening your hips. Next few rounds of breath, we feel that audible exhale. Inhale through the nose, stick out the tongue, and speed or any extra energy. Just like we practice in child's pose, where can you soften, maybe surrender a little bit more. Right, and then when you're ready to come up, go ahead and press into your palms, lift your torso up, move any props to the side that you might be using. You can use your right hand to bring that right leg forward, and then we can just bounce the backs of the legs on the floor, maybe wag the tail. Let's do our supported fetal or twisted child's pose next. So we'll bring our legs to the left side, and we can, you can use two pillows or a pillow and a blanket. I would put the pillow underneath the torso, just like you did for child's pose, one or two blocks or the books. Something to go underneath that pillow, at least to support the head and maybe the torso. I'm going to use the block and pillow and a second pillow to go between my thighs. That'll help keep my lower back sacrum space open, maybe seeing any compression from the femurs or the hips. All right. And then lay down onto your right side to start. So for some, it's going to feel okay to bring that left arm in front. Others, it might actually put pressure on the shoulder and the chest. So if that happens, you could stack your left arm on top of your left side of the body. Back to that breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. This is the yoga posture we did before coming into this life, this fetal position when you're in your mommy's tummy. Feel very nurturing, feel very supportive. And so while you're here, you can scan the body and ask, invite the skin layer of the body to relax. Invite the muscles to relax. Invite the bones to surrender to gravity. And invite your organs to soften. And maybe feeling a little more space, those layers of the body. Now, if you're wanting to twist on this one today, palms down, lift your torso up, look away from your knees, the opposite side. See how that feels, adjust how you need. In any way that feels too much or hard to breathe, just start to ease out of the twist. Start with bringing your head, your focus back to the direction the knees are pointing. Like child's pose, practice that surrender again. And space between the fingers and the toes. Softening the heart. Inviting anything to ring out, be released that's not needed for this new beginning, whatever new beginning that is for you. Now, if you're looking away from the knees, let's press the palms down, lift the torso, stretch the spine, and then look the direction that the knees are pointing. We'll stay here for about 3 more breaths. If you would like to, if you do have a pillow in front of you or between the thighs, you can slide it out, and maybe before we come out of this first side, reach the left leg behind you. Only if that feels good on your lower back. If there's compression, just do less or not at all. If you did extend the left leg back, we stack it on top of the right, and we'll press our palms down, reach our hips to the ground, and slowly come up to seated. Your choice of either rolling to the opposite side, or you might bring your props, your torso props, to the other side of the mat. We'll set up for that left side. Placing a pillow or blanket between the thighs. And that pillow that you'll lay on, snug up to the left hip. Then we'll start a fetal position on the left first. Again, if that top arm in front feels like too much, chest, stack, right arm on top of the right side of the body. As we breathe here, we can connect to that energy of new beginnings, that fetal position energy. So a sense of nurturing. Feel how your heart can relax towards the earth. Each exhale. And then you might choose to stay here, or you might want to go into that twist. So if you're wanting to do the twist, you're going to bring your hands on each side of the pillow, lift your torso up, lengthen your spine, and look away from your knees. And again, if that's too much for the twist, just look back to the direction your knees are pointing. Back to that practice in child's pose of complete surrender now. Physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally. Stuff that might be coming to the surface, just acknowledge it and invite it to leave on your exhale. Slide the shoulders down from the ears and spread the fingers and toes once more. And then we'll start to think about coming out of this second side. So you're ready, press the palms down, lift the torso up, lengthen your spine. You can look the direction that the knees are pointing. Lay down for a few more breaths. Again, if you did that stretch of the hip, you could, there's a pillow between your thighs, you could reach that top leg back. If you did reach the top leg back, and bring it forward, stacking. We'll press the palms down into the ground, reach the hips towards the mat, and slowly come up to seated. Let your head come up last. Okay, let's do that supported bridge with the strap around the thighs. So if you want extra cushion underneath your head, you might move you might roll up the back of your mat, or you might bring your blanket to the back of your mat, support your head and maybe your shoulders. And then you want to have one block near us, and we'll loop up that strap. So we'll do that loop where we put our arms inside the loop, press out. Make sure the arms don't go past the shoulders. And then if you're using like a scarf or a long towel, if you can tie it around your thighs just to keep the legs hip distance. Great. So I'm going to move that strap up the thighs, the thickest part where you can reach it. And then we're going to come back onto our back, supporting the head. And if you are supporting the head, or you could just let your head rest onto the ground. If you are supporting your head, make sure the shoulder blades are still connected to the floor. So first, we're going to have our arms down by our sides and noticing the breath. Noticing how your outer thighs are connected to the strap, and as your outer thighs fall out to the outer edges, could your inner thighs still gently draw in as if you were holding a yoga block there? Feeling for a sensation like you could stretch the insides of your legs. All right, and then you could reach one arm and then the other, relaxing the shoulders down from the ears, come back to center. And then we could rock the pelvis, sticking the tailbone out, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. Feel how your lower back can widen on the mat. Let's think of going into that supported bridge next. Pressing through the four corners of your feet, peel up your spine, and then place that block underneath your pelvis, first or second level. Feel that support. If when you lift up, if you feel like it's too much underneath your head, you might even slide that pillow out from underneath you. So just feels best. Feel as if you could touch your knees or your shin bones to that wall space in front of you. And a little more of your awareness into legs, especially the feet and the lower legs. That movement, you might start to feel the front body open up a little more. We can come back to that diaphragm breath. You can use your hands once again to brush the diaphragm down towards your knees, towards your feet. And you might choose from here to extend the legs out along the mat or wrap your hands around the block and extend your legs up towards the sky. You might have to adjust that block really to make sure that your back of your pelvis is supported, that your tailbone can comfortably hang over the edge. If you did extend the legs or towards the sky or towards the front of your mat, you could do ankle rotations. Feel wherever your legs are positioned that you can still breathe into the belly. And if you did extend the legs, go ahead and slowly bring the soles of the feet back to the ground again, walking in or lowering them down. Definitely stay in bridge a little longer if you'd like. We'll go into Supta Padangusthasana next. So we'll step into the feet, lift the pelvis up, slide the block out, and massage your back down to the ground. Once that spine arrives to the mat, we can repeat our windshield wiper knees. Now using that grace of the strap to catch the legs. Drop your legs to one side and then the other. Now center, exhale, release. Your windshield wiping the knees, bring them back to center. We're going to exhale, float the feet off the mat and slide the strap off of the legs. We'll start with Padangusthasana, the right foot inside the strap. So go ahead and take a step into that loop, or unloop it if you prefer. And once your foot is in the strap, press your right heel, calf, hamstring away from you in both legs. Definitely the extended leg, but also you could try with that supported leg. That idea that you could stretch from the inside of your leg, the heel, calf, hamstring go to the space in front of you. As you exhale, you could still pull on the strap and feel the leg, right leg come towards you. And then we can move to C. So maybe have that block to the side of you to catch your right leg as it opens to the right. Right calf, ankle, or hamstring could land on the block, and grab the straps in your right hands. Repeat half Baddha Konasana if you'd like that for your hips and inner thighs, releasing your left knee out to the side, or just extend your left leg straight along the mat. Both can be beneficial. Come back to that diaphragm breath, holding the left hand at the diaphragm, or maybe repeating that brushing down. Focus can be to the sky or add the neck stretch, releasing your left ear, temple. Whatever leg position you're in, we're going to think about bringing those legs, to the inner thighs towards each other as you bring your right leg to the sky. We'll go to twist. If you're using a block, it could be helpful to bring that block to the left side of the mat. We'll start to cross. Tails of the strap can go into the left hand. Cross the right leg over to modify, keep the back of the pelvis on the ground, or deeper twist. Let the right leg come all the way across the body. It can go underneath the right inner calf or thigh. Right hand could be down by the right hip, right arm could be up overhead. And add the neck release if you like, releasing your right ear, shoulder blade, temple towards the mat. Great to breathe into your spine now. So feel the breath start at your tailbone. Inhaling through your spine to the top of the head. Exhale back down. We're going to roll back onto our back and let the right leg follow. Inhale, right leg to center, and let's switch outside. Step your left foot into the strap. Bring your right foot out. We start with pressing the left heel, calf, hamstring away from you, and then try it with the right. Heel, calf, hamstring, pressing towards the front space of your mat. As you continue to stretch the back of the legs to the front space of your mat, you might pull on the strap and guide that left leg towards you a little bit more. And then we'll think about that Supta C. So we can move the tails of the strap over to the left. Or excuse me, put the block to the left and bring the tails of the strap into the left hand. Maybe that left outer leg supported underneath the outer calf or thigh. Right knee could open out to the right. You might extend your right leg out along the mat. You add that head release, releasing the head to look to the right. When you're ready, like you're drawing the inner legs together, bring your left leg to center. And then we can move that block over to the right side if you're using it. Bring the tails of the strap into the right hand and start to cross that left leg across the body. Right knee could stay bent or extended. Focus could go to the ceiling or look over to the left. And let's breathe into our spine again. Let that spine breath feel like a massage. And at your own pace, let's inhale, bring that left leg back to center. You might go right to corpse pose, or you might try that supported happy baby pose, stepping out of that loop, stepping your feet to the longer side of the strap. So we can slide the feet out wider than the hips. Exhale, bend the knees down to the ground, soles of the feet to the sky. And you could massage out your back. And then maybe you add the bow leg. Keep one knee bent, extending one leg straight, switching to the opposite side. And then you can straighten the legs and slide the feet together and remove the strap. And then we'll do psoas stretch. So we'll go back to that supported bridge again. So we're going to stay on the back again. And let's have a block near you. We're going to just put it underneath the pelvis on the first level. So when you're ready, still imagining feeling like that straps around your thighs as you step into your feet and peel up lower spine, middle spine. Enough space to put that block on the lowest level underneath your pelvis. Okay. So from here, we're going to float the right foot off the mat. You can do a couple ankle rotations each direction. And then from here, either just let the right leg hover or hold onto your hamstring with one or both hands. Then we'll extend the left leg out along the mat. Give yourself a few breaths just to feel that stretch in the front of your left leg, already starting to open up your psoas. If extending the left leg all the way out is too intense, just bend so you feel something, but you can still comfortably breathe. That lever pulling movement, we're going to pull the right thigh down to the ground and let the left heel float off the mat. We release the pull of the right leg, the left heel comes back down to the ground or mat. We'll do 2 more of those. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. And exhale, pull. You think of the diaphragm breath. Inhale, release. And then if it's comfortable, extend both legs out along the mat. You might bounce the knees and feel the backs of the legs release down to the floor. We exhale, walk the feet back towards the hips, and we'll go to the second side. So we're going to float the left foot up. Let's rotate the left ankle a couple times each direction. Hold on to the left hamstring. Extend the right leg out. Feel that right hamstring or right psoas quadricep stretch. Then we can pull on the left thigh. The right heel floats up from the pull. Release the pull. Right heel comes down. 2 more. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. 1 more. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Then re-extend your left leg out. Once again, we can bounce the backs of the legs on towards the ground. And then slowly walk the feet back towards the hips. So we'll feel the feet on the ground. We'll lift the pelvis up. We'll slide the block out and slowly lower down upper spine, middle spine to lower spine. Let's do those windshield wiper knees again from side to side. You might pause to one side if that feels good, and then inhale, come back to center. Okay, now you'll either keep the knees to one side to come up to fetal position, or if you'd like to kind of massage the whole back out and do that rolling like a ball, and exhale, float your feet up, press your hamstrings into your hands. Start to extend and bend those elbows. And then pressing the hamstrings into the hands, start to rock forward and back. So we're massaging our back out on the ground, eventually coming all the way up to seated. We'll do shoulder flow, which will then take us into our Shavasana today. So feel free to grab your block or your pillow to sit on, grab your strap for the shoulder flow. Coming into a comfortable seated Sukhasana position, you can definitely use those blocks if you want extra hip or lower back support, placing them underneath your outer legs. Then you can place that strap inside your hands. You might put the metal side, if you have a metal side, whatever you're using, into your hand. And let's reach the arms down, and then we're going to start to roll the shoulders up to the ears. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, and then from here, let's just inhale, bring that strap up overhead. And then feel the shoulder blades slide down the back. This could be enough, or you might start to lower the arms down, take those hands out wider if you need to. We'll inhale, come back up. As you do this arm pass, feel for your shoulder blades hugging in towards your spine. And they're going to want to try to widen at some point. So do your best to keep them drawing in. That might intensify the chest stretch, so walk your hands further out if you need to. So you could do a few more of these flows, just moving the arms at your own pace, or we could add a pause. So as we inhale, arms up, exhale, find that first point of stretch, and we pause and breathe. Get into the pecs, and we get into the lung channel. We get into the pericardium, the heart protector line. Lower the arms down to that second point of stretch. Breathe. And then we can lower down to that third point of stretch and breathe. After about 3 breaths, let the arms go. If the strap's behind you, bring it up and back in front of you. And then we'll grab the strap and we'll set the strap to the side. And let's just do some wrist rotations here. So especially if you felt like you had a really tight grip on your strap, you can let that go. And then let's interlace the fingers, another wrist stretch again, press through the bottom heel of hand. We have the interlaced hands in line with the sternum. Inhale, come back to center, exhale, press. Center, exhale, press. Center, exhale, press. Center, and then we can shake those hands out like we're shaking off water. So your choice, if you want to sit here in meditation before going into your Shavasana, you're welcome to stay seated. You can repeat that chin mudra, thumb and index finger pad to touch, palms up. Or if you're ready to go to Shavasana. Now the seated position. To find your way on your back, you might place that, support the lower back a little more than the hips. You might place that bolster underneath your knees. If you want to stay warm a little more, you could grab that blanket, another pillow, just to place something over your center of gravity to stay warm. But if you are feeling that you need legs up the wall, it's definitely be a good one to close with today, especially with that full moon energy, just balance out. So I encourage you as we go into this final rest that you come back to feeling your breath in your nasal passages. And Try breathing in through the left nostril, out the right. Inhale the right, out the left. Inhale both nostrils, out both nostrils. Relaxing once again to feel the skin layer relax, to feel the muscles relax, to feel the bones surrender to gravity. To feel the organs have more space, softening. Just receive, and you can invite in that energy of the full moon for clarity. What needs to be reviewed, what needs to be transformed, what needs to be let go. As we come back to our body, come back to our breath, start at the diaphragm. Expanding and releasing. Feeling the diaphragm stretch down to your hips and your pelvis, maybe even down to your feet. Drawing any energy that might be attempting to rise up, back down to the earth. From there, we start to move the body, wiggle the fingers, the toes, stretch our head movements. Your feet in, roll to the right side. Feel your heart. Release anything you no longer need, held in your heart. The earth. Up to seated, we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Keep space between the palms. Offer your heart between your hands and offer an image of the moon. Just to invite in any healing to your heart, to the planet, community. And just to remember this yin part of self, this parasympathetic part of self. Releasing the fight or flight and coming back to your true essence. And thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.